Some of you may remember when I very first started on YouTube, I had all my rack gear in this one particular enclosure. And I had mentioned that it was pretty heavy to have all this gear in one particular enclosure. I said I'd be better off dividing it between two different enclosures. And that's mainly why I'm making this video. I know some of you like to do live sound reinforcement with your own home recording studio gear. And if you're going to actually be trying to do sound reinforcement for local bands or maybe a community church or something like that, it might be better to go more module, where you can bring certain pieces of equipment that you have in your rack gear rather than bringing the whole rack unit. I know a lot of people will have rack units that are waist high or even up to your chest, and they'll be on metal casters, and it's in your studio, it's easy to wheel it around with the metal casters. It's just loading it into a pickup truck or a car can be somewhat of a pain in the butt. A lot of times it requires two people, where if you go more module and just keep stacking stuff on top of each other, it's something that one person can easily do themselves. Back when I had all this gear in this particular enclosure, this particular rack mount case ended up weighing almost 70 pounds. Now, some people would say 70 pounds isn't that heavy, and sure, I could do it, but why lug around 70 pounds when the power amp's obviously the heaviest thing I've got, and having the power amp inside of this little rack mount enclosure only weighs, I think, about 35, 36 pounds, so it's a lot lighter than carrying 70 pounds around. I'm not saying that everybody has to do it the way I've got it set up right here. Some people might not like the fact that I've got several different rack enclosures instead of just having one big rack enclosure that's waist high. If you're in a studio, you don't freelance, you don't do any sound live reinforcement with the audio equipment you've got, then yeah, there are times when you could have the rack units that are waist high, and that would definitely maybe be the way to go. I'm saying for some of you just starting out that do want to do sound reinforcement, plus you want your own home recording studio, and you've got to use the gear for both scenarios, then that's why this might be a better way to do it. I want to let people know that I've got some rack mount storage drawers, and you can really put anything in here you want. Here's a DV converter. I'm in the process of cleaning these two out. Usually I keep my microphones and miscellaneous adapters in this bigger enclosure. I also usually keep like mic cables, MIDI cables, guitar cables. I keep more of the miscellaneous stuff in the bigger one, obviously, because it can hold more. And then in the smaller rack drawer, I usually just keep all my foot pedals in there. I'm in the process of getting rid of some foot pedals and some microphones, so they're kind of empty right now. I just threw some stuff in there to actually do this video. That's not usually what I keep in there. But it's really up to you to put whatever you want in these storage drawers. So should you go with this type of an outfit for your own home recording studio. If you're into photography, you got DSLR cameras. You could put your DSLR cameras in these rack mount units. You could put gold bullion in these if you wanted to, although I don't know why somebody would want to put gold bullions in these rack enclosures, but it's really up to you to put what you want in these particular rack mount enclosures and these storage drawers. It's just really nice to have this handy right by your computer, whether you're Mac, PC, or whether you run Linux. So that's the main reason why I actually wanted to do this video. Another reason why I wanted to do this video is some of you might remember when I first started off, I had this particular audio board instead of the smaller audio board you see on my shelf. You might not in this video be able to see the storage shelf for my computer desk, but you can look at other pictures and see it. And I mentioned that I like this particular audio board. It's a good audio board, don't get me wrong, but I did say I wanted something that would fit in that storage shelf, like a Mackie or a small Behringer, and I ended up going with Behringer. Prior to that, I had, my rack gear setting on one of the speakers, and then the other speaker was on the other side of the computer, and on that other speaker is where this particular audio board was placed. It was really handy. It was convenient to use it the way it was. It was actually right beside me. I could, slide up the faders, hit the solo, and do everything I wanted to. But I just really thought it'd look nicer to get, my home recording studio, I guess you could say, looking a little bit nicer by making use of the storage drawer. I've got a really small computer desk, and it actually is really useful. It has a lot of functionality to it.
As you folks can see, I have dual monitors for my audio and video system. A lot of you probably have dual monitors that are actually side by side. Either way will work, but it's just having them stacked one on top of each other allows me to have more room on my actual computer desk. Instead of having an old CRT monitor, some of you might want to stack your 24-inch monitors one on top of another so that you could put down a 16-channel audio board on your desktop, or maybe even a 32-channel audio board. It's really up to you how you want to lay out your home recording studio. I myself can put my small audio board right on that shelf that's on my computer desk. It fits in there really nice. And then I have the speakers right beside my actual audio board. That's what works best for me with the equipment I've got. Some of you may look at my audio and video gear and say, hey, I don't need all that PA equipment or the storage drawers. Some of you might say, hey, I would like to have the PA equipment. Instead of having my bass amp and my guitar amp, I could just patch my keyboard, my bass, and my guitar right into the audio board. How you go about setting up your own home recording studio will depend on your own unique needs. Don't watch somebody else's YouTube video and think that, oh, I've got to get everything they've got. You folks can see I've got a lot of accessories for my computer case. The one expansion bay has a unit that has hot swappable hard drives for the little 2.5-inch hard drives as well as the 3.5-inch hard drives. Plus it has 2 USB 3.0 ports on it. My original computer case didn't allow for USB 3.0 ports, but by getting accessories for your computer, you can get FireWire ports put in there. You can get SD card readers. What I've got right now is a lot of hot swappable hard drive bays for, like I said, the 2.5 and 3.5-inch hard drives. You can get external enclosures that make use of internal hard drives and internal DVD ROMs as well. I think that's a better way to go. I know sometimes people will get USB hard drives and they might have a red one with black letters, and then they might have another USB external hard drive that's blue with silver letters, and then some people might have a DVD burner, an external one that's maybe white with black letters, and it just doesn't stack well and it doesn't look nice. Where if you get these external enclosures and put internal hard drives and internal CD and DVD ROM drives in them, they stack up really nice and look really neat. A lot of the external gear you see in this photo I don't even use anymore. I still have it, I just kind of keep it in my closet. I keep my external Blu-ray enclosure hooked up to my computer all the time in case I need to make a copy of a CD, a DVD, or a Blu-ray. But I don't need to keep my external hard drive enclosure hooked up all the time. The only reason I'd use that is if I had to get like 650 gigabytes off of a client's computer. When I get home, I can just pull the hot swappable drive out of that enclosure and pop it right into my computer, and then later just put that hard drive enclosure in the closet. So that's kind of why I've got some of the equipment I've got. Maybe it's giving you some ideas for your own home recording studio. I will try and do another video that goes a little bit more in detail about some of the hardware that I've got for my audio and video editing system.